Hello there. We're gonna talk about Gran Torino called Uwe. Now, by that I mean the movie Gran Torino and the book called A Man Called Uwe. Let's just say that I know there's the movie movie version of the Uwe, but let's just go with the movie and the book. Okay. I wanted to talk because I read the book recently, and I'd seen the movie a while back. The movie and the book have similar attributes. Yeah. Let's go over them. They're both about aging men that are initially represented as wholly unlikable, intractable, irascible characters. Human representations of the dusty old, dirty old bygones. So it's like, initially it's like, guys, however are we to care about these awful people? Little did we know, expectations will be subverted because writing. Okay, so in my opinion, there's a lot of themes and stuff going on in these in the book and the movie, but these stories are primarily about traditional values. There are good things about tradition, admirable things. For instance, let's go over a couple. How about less talk and more action? Doing things right is as important or more important than just getting them done. Utter devotion and keeping it real. How about not crafting thoughts, but just saying what you mean? There's Uwe gets let go, Walt's a retiree in Gran Torino. In Uwe, I just heard Ben Folds. There's a Ben Folds song called Fred Jones Part 2, where this guy named Fred Jones is getting laid off, downsized, I guess. Uwe's essentially forced out. Fred sits alone at his desk in the dark. Such a sad song. So each story, there's a trajectory towards death. Uwe's actively pursuing his death, and that is abundantly clear in the story. Walt is getting sick, and he just throws it out there. He has some run-ins, and he don't seem to care. It's like pounding beers and smoking cigarettes and cursing humanity seem to be his quote-unquote treatment plan. Two big things hit me. First, we see how these sticks in the mud could have loved another person. In each case, in each story, they're wives. And in each case, very deeply. It's almost hard to reconcile, but it sits interesting in your brain or while you're reading or watching these things. Walt describes his wife as the best woman in the world. Uwe obviously feels the same. He wants to follow her into the afterlife, like now. So in each story, the neighbors propel kind of the narrative to a certain extent. Walt becomes a kind of a watcher for the quote-unquote immigrants, connecting with them in a way that he can't with his own bratty, spoiled, useless family. I mean, he doesn't have anything really that he can talk about with his own peeps. I guess in the end, both of these dudes just want to die. Uwe's a funnier kind of story, like black comedy. But the more backstories, the more you come to admire him for what he's been through. Especially with the things with his wife and his house and his father and his mother. There's chapters that are like, I almost went full tears. So there are heartbreaking things that he's like stoically endured, and it's admirable, and it makes you kind of sit back and go, whew, geez, that was really well written. Again, I think the stories are celebrations of old-fashioned ethics. But they also point out that people have to change. The absurdities of, being a curmudgeon are spotlighted. But more often, more so, both characters coax you, both Walt and Uwe coax you back into thinking on simpler times, with a nod of the head and maybe a little fist pump. And, yeah, I remember when people had wrenches and stuff like that, and grease on their hands, and they made sure everything was clean and done proper. Because, I mean, I don't. I'm a modern guy, and I wish that I was more of that old school dude. Sometimes, you know. So anyway, it's my opinion. And here's my opinion on both stories, both on A Man Called Uwe and Gran Torino. My opinion is not that important, but I love them both. So go check out Gran Torino Called Uwe. This is Tyler Has Words. Cheers and see you after. Hit subscribe and like. Later on, people.